Hi all. I know some of you have been waiting patiently. Some of you have been confused about what happened to this Why Are You Still Single series. And I do apologize. I struggled a little bit with how I am going to continue with this series because I wanted it to resonate more with singles, and I wanted it to be something that has a loving approach. And I thought there's no better way to approach this in a loving manner and approach this in a relatable manner than talking about the sign of Libra. So I'm going to switch up the videos a little bit. Okay, so the videos are going to include information on the planet Venus, right? Because Venus is how we relate to others in relationships. The fifth house, which is your dating style and also how you interact with children. And the seventh house, right? The seventh house being marriage and long-term partnerships. And I'm going to, of course, include my beautiful Symbolon deck for a past life reading for singles. Past life meaning past this past, and past life meaning past previous lives. Okay, so to start, Libra, that beautiful cardinal sign. The we consciousness is Libra. Libra is connected to the kidneys, right? When you think about Libra, Libra is starting the fall season, and they are cardinal. And when I think about cardinal and Libra, I'm thinking about the rainy season, the storms that come and clear out all of the built up energy, right? And Libras are ruled by the planet Venus. So they are a very loving sign, right? They're all about the connection that they have to other people. And being ruled by that planet Venus, they are also about aesthetics, right? Beautiful things and beauty within themselves, right? And however that whatever beauty means to them, and they consistently seek beauty and beauty in relationships. Libra, the actual sign, can also be very private, especially when it comes to money and their relationships. You know, this also depends on signs or aspects in your chart as well, because you could very well be a Libra and have your Gemini, your Mercury in Gemini, and so you'd be a little bit more expressive, right? And so when I'm continuing to look at Libra, I look at Libra, a Libra Venus. Ooh, Libra Venus, right? Because Venus is your ruler. So when Libra is in Venus, we're looking at a sign that knows how to have relationships, right? Being very tactful, very diplomatic, very centered on the we. And this is not just in romantic relationships, this is friendships, family, right? Also, Libra and Venus, I imagine you want your lover to look amazing, right? They have to match your fly, of course. Your fly, they have to also be aesthetically, they have to be fly, right? And also, I think Libra, Venus, you are very clear on your emotions, very direct and clear. This is how I feel, right? How does this match up to the relationship, right? Very, very clear, very diplomatic. So how are you feeling? Always concerned about how the partner is feeling. And I think that when Libra is in Venus, there is this enmeshment that can happen as well, and some feelings that are hard to let go of, right? So think about Libra, that rainy season, constantly going through and clearing out their emotions. A Libra in Venus has to learn how to let go of grudges, right? And so then we're moving on to Libra in the fifth house. So Libra in the fifth house has some difficulty because the fifth house is more so of a Leo energy, sometimes a little bit of an Aquarius lean, right? And when we're thinking about the fifth house in Libra, we're thinking more of an Aquarius lean, and some of that, some need for freedom in their relationships, but particularly we're looking at the freedom to explore happiness through their relationships, right? So this could be one of the reasons why relationships are difficult for people with Libra in the fifth house, because their happiness is dependent on the quality of their relationships and how they're relating to other people. And so that Aquarius lean, that Uranus lean, right, is giving them an explorative imagination when it comes to relationships. So constantly looking at very unique relationships. They might even find themselves in relationships that are not mainstream but beautiful to them, beautiful in their own way, right? And also with that freedom, that free explorative side of a Libra in the fifth house, you have to be mindful about your connection to your own children, right? Because if you allow your children to explore, right, because you want them to be happy, and their happiness and the happiness that they have in a relationship with you determines your happiness, you also do need to have a little bit of a sterner, kind of Capricorn, Saturn energy, like applying some practicality there, because otherwise you're going to find some difficulties when your teenagers when your children become teenagers, right? So then we're moving on to Libra in the seventh house. That is your ruling house, right? So Libra in the seventh house knows how to have a long-term partnership. The goal probably is always to have a long-term partnership. A Libra seventh house knows how to naturally have a relationship and probably will find a partner that mirrors that ability within them as well. And an issue for Libra in the seventh house is the enmeshment that can happen in a partnership, having their partnership kind of overpower their personality, and understanding themselves as a solitary lover and a lover that comes together with their partner, right? So that they might have to apply a little bit of a rational approach to love. But also Libra in the seventh house, we're thinking about love that's not just physical, right? It's love that transcends the physical, love that is spiritual, that is beyond this earthly plane. And that's the kind of love that a Libra in the seventh house can provide, right? That Venus energy, and applying rationale there when your personalities are becoming enmeshed can be somewhat difficult, but also necessary, so that you avoid codependency. So I imagine that any Libras that are single, Libra Sun, Libra Venus, Libra 5th and 7th house, there might be difficulties with past relationships, right? So holding on to some past relationships because of this enmeshment and how much you were giving of yourself to this relationship to make it work, because Libra is the we consciousness. Libra is how do we operate together, how do we both become happy. And so then you have this enmeshment, which could lead to some grudges, which could lead to some strong tension, which becomes stronger over time, once the relationship is over. Because of that codependency, it can lead to some heartbreak. But also Libra being that cardinal sign, right, thinking the storms that clear out, Libras can consistently, especially Libra singles, can consistently go through these emotional waves that clear out old emotions, right? And so I want to look to the Symbolon deck to discuss clearly the past relationship issues that are affecting Libras right now, and also any past life issues that might be affecting Libras. Okay, so just going to call in the ancestors and the spirit guides. The ancestors and spirit guides that serve the highest good of Libra singles and anyone watching this video who needs more guidance on relationships and finding the best partnership for them. Please answer this in the name of the Most High. Okay, splitting this into our threes. Okay, so we're going to do a 3-card reading. Interesting stuff. Lots of interesting visuals here. Okay, so I have pulled 3 cards here in our Symbolon reading, our past life reading for Libra singles. Here, and the first card that we're looking at, or actually the first 2 cards, we are seeing people fleeing, right? So people fleeing in the past and people fleeing in the present. And I want you to take a look at this first card here, because remember when I was talking about the need to analyze the self, particularly, you know, that 7th house in Libra, right? The need to analyze the self, right? And, you know, the self in the past is coming through with Virgo and Aquarius. So this card, we see a man fleeing the Furies, right? And so the Furies are only after you if you've done something wrong. And so doing something wrong is manifesting as guilt here for Libra singles. And when we're looking at this guilt, you may not have been doing something so wrong that it is deserving of this fear that you have. I think that when Libra singles are looking back at past relationships, any unaddressed guilt that they have, so unaddressed guilt in terms of how you acted in the relationship, the codependency that might have happened in a relationship, any unrepressed guilt about not meeting your partner's needs, right, could lead into fear. So really running away from this guilt and being so afraid of the dynamics of your past relationship that you might even become paranoid that you're seeing this in other people, right? These other relationships that you're getting into. And so, you know, this could be talking about also, you know, a past life where there was a lot of guilt, but particularly, you know, you might not have been a Libra in your past life. You might have been someone that did your lovers some harm, right? And it's the guilt of doing your lovers some harm and learning how to love on the earthly plane, but with a spiritual and a deeply emotional basis, like your sign entails. And then we have the present here. Okay, so the present, you know, the present is represented again by that Virgo energy ruled by Mercury. So, dear Libra, you cannot avoid analysis, almost critical analysis of these deeper past issues. Right, and I know that your natural ability is to love, but here when we're talking about Libra singles and the need to find your best relationship, we are talking about analyzing things that might have gone wrong, right? And then here we have Libra, and then we have Capricorn. And so here I am seeing this woman kind of run away from this Capricorn energy, right? Run away from fear, run away from
dealing with repressed emotions. And she's also running away from death here. So there is a certain aspect of the self that needs to be let go of. And that is definitely geared towards people with cardinal energy. So when you have a cardinal sign like Libra, you can definitely take the initiative to allow habits of yourself, habits from the past to die, right? To let go of that aspect so that you can grow and accept that growth is a part of how you relate to people, right? Changing your ways and becoming a better lover is how you can relate to new lovers, right? To new love. And this card is also ruled here by Capricorn. So Capricorn fills you with that cardinal energy, but that cardinal energy with analyzing what has happened and how can you change, right? And the more that you run away, right, running away being this theme, the more guilt from the past becomes fear, right? I'm seeing Libras literally fleeing, this having to deal with these emotions, right? You might be triggered in dating partnerships, right? Dating, and you might be triggered in new relationships and be triggered by these old fears and these old fears of guilt and not forgiving yourself and not analyzing the growth that you need to make, right, in order to have a satisfying relationship. We have the Scorpio sign with the sign of Libra. Very interesting, right? For the future. And here we're looking at two people and they are handcuffed together. And so I think that this is a perfect marriage of the Libra and the Scorpio together. We're talking about this idealized relationship, a relationship that you might conjure up to meet this expectation, to meet this beautiful or outwardly beautiful connection, this relationship that is maybe always good or has its minor challenges, but in the end, it represents the most dynamic, beautiful love that there possibly can be. And so you might chain yourself to partners, and you have to understand before you're chaining yourself to a partner, are you willing to grow with that partner? Are you willing to grow together? This partner is not going to be some image that you've conjured up. They're not going to be this perfect Venus loving energy. They're going to be their own self, and you're going to be your own self. So are you attaching or connecting to the right partner? Are you really letting go of these past fears of how you have acted in relationships and stepping into the role of someone that grows on an individual level? And in order to grow on an individual level, you have to tap into, some Virgo, Capricorn energy here and really critically analyze or just analyze yourself, right? So that you are able to understand the difference between your growth and your partner's growth, right? And how you two can come together. And that coming together part, that's something that Libras know how to do beautifully. It's just the analyzing yourself as an individual lover, which is going to be necessary. And you could very well find that this is the ideal relationship that you're looking for, but it's also about your ability to grow together and not force your partner to meet some idolized image, the aesthetic of how the relationship is supposed to be. be. And I know that Libras at times could deny, some need to control, but with that cardinal energy, the energy that is a game changer, that really cycles through their emotions, clears out their emotions, right? You do have very dominant energy, and you have to acknowledge that. And so you don't want to dominate your partner to the point where your partner can't even be themselves. All right, so something to consider.
Okay, so that was our video for Libra singles. I'm going to start saying our now because Libra is just talking about the togetherness, the we. And we all can learn a lot from Libras, Libra singles, Libra Venus, right? About how to relate to someone naturally, to naturally allow that to flow. And I think a major takeaway from this video is that a natural part of the flow for Libras is acknowledging and creating a little bit of analysis for yourself, right? And how you flow with your partner, and allowing your partner to be themselves as well, and not running away from the fear of handling past guilt and past tension in relationships, because you're perfectly capable of having the relationships that you desire. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. Tune in next Saturday, and we are going to be talking about Scorpio singles. Bye.